Hey guys, it's Hazel. If you're not subscribed already, what are you doing? In today's video, I'm going to show you my base routine for the summer, how I got this look. So grab a snack and a little drinky drink and let's get into the tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to get a sweatproof flawless base for the summer. I went to Dallas like about 2 weekends ago with some of my girlfriends and we went out clubbing, and if you know Dallas and you know Texas in general, it is like 100 degrees plus. And my makeup lasted through the entire night. I'm talking sweating, drinking, dancing, the whole shebang. So I posted a video on TikTok showing you guys some of the photos that I took of my makeup that night, and a lot of people wanted to see the tutorial, so I filmed a tutorial for TikTok if you want to see like the shortened version. But I wanted to film a separate video for YouTube so I can get into the details of like the skin prep and all the brushes that I use, because a lot of people had questions like that. So for skin prep, a lot of people were asking if I use any serums or moisturizers beforehand. I definitely do. The first serum that I like to go in with is my hyaluronic acid serum by Good Molecules, and I'll just put this all around my face like so. I have normal to dry skin. That was another question a lot of people had, like what skin type do you have? However, I will say a lot of the products that I use, a lot of my friends who have oily or combination skin, they also like. So I feel like this makeup routine could work for a lot of different skin types. And I will say when you're applying any of your skin prep, you're gonna want each layer to dry for like a good 2 minutes in between. Otherwise, it'll cause that pilling effect where like you feel like your skin is just peeling and has all those little balls and texture. I'm gonna put some lip oil on because my lips are kind of dry right now. This is the Ulta Beauty Juice Infused Lip Oil in Red Apple. After that, I use another serum. I use the Glow Recipe Watermelon Niacinamide Dew Drops. This stuff is really good, but I'm not going to say like it's an essential, like you need it, because to be honest, it is pretty expensive. I also forgot to say that I do use a toner before I use all of my serums. The one I love is the Wonder Ceramide Mochi Toner by Tony Moly. Then for moisturizer, my favorite, and the one I've been using forever, is the Cosrx Snail Mucin Moisturizer. It's the all-in-one Snail 92 cream. It just is so hydrating and it feels amazing on your skin. As someone with dry skin, I really love this stuff, but my sister has oily skin and she also really likes that moisturizer. If you're ever getting impatient and you're like, I don't want to wait for my skincare products to dry, get yourself a little fan. Now this step depends on whether or not I'm going out in the daytime versus the nighttime. If I'm going out in the daytime, I do include this. I like to use an SPF. The one I really love is the Fenty Skin Hydrivisor. I think this has SPF 40. We're trying to stay young forever, okay? I don't want any wrinkles. Don't want any sunspots or age spots. I really like this stuff because not only is it a sunscreen, it's also a moisturizer, so it's very hydrating and it doesn't cause my makeup products to pill. Now we can get into the makeup, but I do want to make a disclaimer that there are some high-end products that I use in this video. I know a lot of people said that they wanted like a drugstore version, and I am working on that currently. So if you want a drugstore version, let me know in the comments. I'll probably post it on my TikTok first and then see how everyone reacts, and if everyone likes it, then I'll probably post it on YouTube. So we're gonna start off with primer because you need primer to help your makeup last. I actually use two, so I use the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base and also the Milk Hydro Grip. Now the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base is kind of like a moisturizer, but it also creates a smooth base under your makeup so there's no texture. Then for our Milk Hydro Grip, we're gonna put this in the areas that usually our makeup comes off first. So for me, that's like my chin area right here, and then also my nose and kind of like my mouth area. Just this whole area right here for me, that's where makeup comes off first. So that's where I'm gonna apply this. Next up, we're gonna use foundation, and this really depends on you and what your favorite foundation is. You want a foundation that has decent coverage, but also is going to stay on for a very long time. Now, because I have dry skin, I like to look for a foundation that's still gonna look like skin, but is gonna dry down a little bit matte. The L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear does that for me. I'm in the shade 465. This is gonna look a little dark at first, but it's because my body is a little bit darker than the rest of my face, and we're going to even everything out with concealer. If you want more coverage, you can use a brush. A brush isn't going to soak up as much product as a sponge will. Usually I do use a brush, but today I just felt like using a sponge. A lot of people also ask me if I put foundation on my forehead because I have bangs. I definitely do, because I don't want to be caught lacking if I push my bangs out the way and then you're like, why is your forehead a different color than your face? And then I like to go in with concealer. Now I love the Nars and the Hourglass concealers because they have good coverage, but they're thin in consistency. So I'll use my Hourglass concealer first. This is going to be a lighter shade that we're going to put in the inner corner because this is where we're going to want to bring all the brightness. And then I'm going to use my Nars concealer, and this is where we're going to put in the middle. And this is going to be closer to our skin tone color. And we're going to bring it out so we can blend it in to our foundation very seamlessly. I'm going to put a little bit on my chin because I've been breaking out a bit. and some right here. And to blend out my concealer, I'm going to use a brush. Now, a lot of people were asking about this brush. I actually got this from Shop Miss A. And this is their AOA Studio F30 brush. This is such a good brush for blending out concealer, and it was only $1. When I say you need to go run and get this, you need to go run and get this. This blends out my concealer so seamlessly. I put my friend onto it, and she also loved it. And I have a few concealer brushes. Like, this isn't the only one that I own, but do you see how good that looks? Like, I just look so much more awake right now. For powder, I actually bought a new one and I fell in love with it, and I've been using it ever since. This is the Hudabeauty Easy Bake Setting Powder. I got the travel size first because I wanted to try it out because I heard so many good things on TikTok, of course. And this is the truth. When I tell you guys, this powder just blurs and smooths out under your eyes so nicely, and it helps your makeup last so much longer. I am a Laura Mercier stan. Like, I love the Laura Mercier original. I love the Ultra Blur even more. So when I tried this, I was like, wow, this is the first powder that's taken me away from my Laura Mercier powder. Ever since buying this powder, I have not touched my Laura Mercier Ultra Blur. But I'm just taking a powder puff and setting under my eyes where I put that concealer. And I don't really like to bake these days. I kind of just press the powder into my skin. I use the shade Banana Bread. I'll put some on my chin because, again, like I said, my makeup comes off my chin first. My smile lines, because these also tend to crease quite a bit. Around my nose, a little bit on my forehead, and then just kind of sporadically, whatever's left over, I'll put on my face. Then I'm going to go in with finishing powder, and I like to use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I'm in the shade 2. And I'll just put this all around my face. And I really love all these products because none of them make my face feel cakey or heavy. Then we're going to move on to bronzer. For bronzer, I would normally use a cream first, but because it gets up to almost 100 degrees and higher here in Texas, I kind of stay away from using creams as much as I can. And if I do use a cream, I'll usually put the cream down and then set it with powder. I like to use the AOA Studio F14 brush. This is another brush from Miss A that's only $1, but it's one of my favorites for bronzing. For this, I do not swipe. I just press the bronzer into my skin like so. I feel like when you swipe, you take away a lot of product, and you also get it in areas that you might not want it, like a little bit lower, a little too high. I'll take a little angled fluffy brush like this, and I'll put some on my nose to kind of, you know, like contour a little bit. And this you're gonna want to do any way that you like. Everyone's nose is different, so. And I'll just take a little bit of that leftover powder and kind of clean up the sides so it doesn't look too crazy. Then for blush, which is my favorite part, I'm going to go in with a cream. I'm going to use the Makeupbymario Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil in the shade Barely Blushing. Now this is going to help us bring that skin light look back because this is a more dewy blush. And it is such a gorgeous color like. And then on top of that, I'm going to use a powder blush. I'm going to use the Dior Rosy Glow Rosewood Blush. This blush is so pretty. And we're going to use that to kind of set the blush in place and give us a little bit more color. I'm gonna put some bottom mascara on. We're almost done. Then I'm gonna set my face with my first setting spray. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. And this is where a fan comes in handy. My friend actually got me this from the Philippines, and I literally use it every day when I do my makeup, so shout out to you, Camille. Then I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighter, and I actually don't really use highlighter often, but I like to use a pink highlight as like a sparkly blush topper. This is the Kilowatt highlighter in Chic Freak and Girl Next Door, and I just mix these two, but a tiny bit right here. Just for like a little extra glow, you know? Just a tiny bit on my nose. That's it. No more than that. And then for the final step, my second setting spray. If you're going to buy anything from this tutorial, let me tell you, you need to buy this. This is the Makeup Revolution Super Fix Super Hold Misting Spray. And when I tell you, this will hold your makeup through the apocalypse. I actually tried it for the first time because it was my friend's, and I told her I wanted a really long lasting setting spray, and I was thinking about getting the one size one, and she was like, I have this one. It's supposed to be a dupe. Try it out. I tried it. My makeup was not going anywhere. This is like hairspray in a bottle for makeup. We're going back in with a fan. I'm going to do a lip combo and then I'll show you guys the finished look. Alright guys, this is the finished look. That's how I get my sweat-proof, flawless, long-lasting base for the summer. I'm so happy that I found this routine that works for me. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this tutorial helped you out a little bit. And if you want to see a drugstore version of this, let me know and I'll film one for you guys ASAP. Bye, I'll see you in the next one.